Hi, Mike Sarah here from Customer States. If you're searching for the highest quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw, performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, keeping that forklift forking and lifting, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of Hit Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but also a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we may need for our specific application. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust, so you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, combined with Justice Brothers supplying superior quality automotive products since the 1940s and 75 years in the racing industry, you will have absolutely everything at your disposal to get the job done. Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA, and they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. If you live in the Southern California area, call my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818. And if you don't, call him anyway and tell him I said thanks. And visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. Justice Brothers, America's brand for quality.
Getting off to an early start.
Oh my God.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
No.
What's up, bitches?
What's up, bitches?
Hey, sluts.
Hey, this is my turn.
What's up, my little butt plugs?
That's me.
It's me, Allie Paul from Customer States Podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything, mostly kind of, in the automotive industry.
Oh, is that what this is? I was trying to find the bathhouse. I gotta go. Bye.
I was going for like the sound that the Flintstones make. Can you guys do that sound better?
Twinkle
Yes.
toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, played on a xylophone.
Anyways.
When he's bowling.
Hey, you guys. I'm really thirsty.
How thirsty are you?
I'm so
Wait.
thirsty.
I'm about to bust. Are you ready to bust?
What are we drinking?
We're drinking out of glass.
But what are we drinking?
We are drinking
Jarritos.
Candaritos. No,
Yeah?
I'm kidding. It's Cantaritos by Jarritos. I'm having a fruit punch hard soda.
I am also having a fruit punch.
I'm having tamarindo.
I'm having Mandarin hard soda, but I did ask for Cantonese hard soda.
No, do it in the accent. You're having a what?
Mandarin.
Ah, that's better. Well done. Good job, Michael. Okay.
They're
what?
twists.
Oh, mine didn't even make it.
Oh, mine didn't make one either.
Mine didn't either.
Allie, heads or tails, and I'm not telling you what it's for.
Tails.
Heads or tails.
Heads. It's heads.
Oh, too bad.
I
don't
said
get
heads, so.
I don't get the thing. Whatever it was.
But I said heads, so I get it.
Hello?
Hello. Who are you?
Cheers.
This is pretty delicious. Cheers,
It is
guys.
delicious.
I like mine too.
Thank you, Jake and Allie.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you,
these
Jake and
drinks
Allie.
brought to you by Jake and Allie.
Aw, you guys are so sweet.
We love you.
Oh, it's a Bud Light product.
It is?
Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, nice.
No, well, it doesn't mean it's Bud Light specifically. It's Anheuser.
Well,
I had no idea they made Jarritos.
Budweiser product.
But that doesn't mean they made.
Anyways, who are you, bitch?
I'm a warranty administrator for both Volkswagen and Mazda, and
thank you.
it's wonderful. To my left is a wonderful man who I love with all of my heart.
That was Allie Paul, by the way.
I said it in the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
Well, that's your fault. At least you can go back and listen again. Jake Rikus.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm on my best behavior tonight.
Hi.
Hello. All right. Very nice. I am a service advisor and kind of an assistant service manager or operation director. And yeah, I get to be a like super babysitter next week because my service manager is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Nice.
So next week's a good time to bring my car in.
Yes, it is. And yeah, I do everything that everybody doesn't want to do. So that's a service advisor.
I feel like I do that.
Automotive industry. To my left is Mikhail.
Hi, my name is Mike.
Mikhail.
You should have said Mikhail. That would have been funny.
Hi, my name is Mikhail.
No, you have to do it like in the Russian accent.
I'm not good. I'm not good with
To my left is Mikhail Serra.
Hello, my name is Mikhail Serra.
That's pretty good. Okay. Bravo.
My name is Mike. I do many different things for the
Italian.
automotive industry as well. And to my left is Eric Montenegro.
Bibbidi bobbidi.
Bibbidi bobbidi.
Bobbidi boobidi.
Is that racist?
Bibbidi bobbidi.
No, not if you use your hands.
Bobbidi bobbidi.
Bobbidi boo.
You sound like R2D2.
May the fourth be with you.
May
Yes.
the fourth be with you.
Also, happy,
yes,
happy
of course
Cinco
we
de
do.
Drinko.
Yeah, that part.
So you guys have already celebrated these holidays, but we're in the past.
Oh, I guess it's your turn. He wasn't done introducing himself.
I was
Yeah,
just saying a
it's-
fun Okay.
I'm Eric Montenegro. I'm a heavy line technician. Thank you. Hi. Been doing it for 5 years. Okay, Allie, you can continue with your Cinco de Drinko.
Yeah, it's great.
I know.
Don't forget to tip your therapist.
Stop being such a Debbie.
That's funny. We work in the automotive industry. I can't afford therapy.
Yeah, I
I
know.
was about to say, you guys have therapists?
Therapist?
Stop being such a Debbie.
Yeah.
A Debbie Downer.
A Debbie
That was a
Downer.
nice
Little,
Right on your face.
red on. Oh, my. Let me drink.
let me drink.
That'll fix it.
So, we had a true. If you've been with the show for a while and you've been like since the beginning, you know of Dabba,
Dabba.
the real Dabba.
Jack.
Jack, my feet make noise when I sit in it.
Go back and listen to episode 1, yeah?
The very first, what started it all.
When we
yeah.
peaked.
So, episode 1 was our best. It's been downhill.
A really long decline.
Yeah. So Debbie came back with a new car, which I was unaware of. Dabba now has a brand new 650 and
A 650.
CX50.
Oh, I was like, that's a
650.
BMW.
Yeah.
Gotcha. CX50. Yeah, got it.
And this was on. Was this yesterday or it was yesterday?
Yesterday.
Right?
What did she
Yesterday.
upgrade from?
Yeah, because I was like, you have a story for the podcast.
CX5.
Oh, CX5.
CX5 to a CX50. The good news is the CX50 seats are very firm, so there should be no
Issues
rubbing
with her fat ass?
Exactly,
Gotcha.
where her muffins spewge the bolstering. So I came in on Wednesday and I noticed that Debbie's name was on the appointment list, and I'm like, oh fuck me, and I go into the appointment and I notice that my associate Kyle that I work with has put his name on the appointment because
God.
he did a quote to get her a new remote. And I'm like, awesome. You know what? That's killer.
Have at it.
I'm glad he's going to make some money, but more importantly, I don't have to deal with Debbie. Oh, how I was wrong. So Debbie's very particular. Like I said, if you want to get the original, go to the first episode.
Strongly recommend you guys.
But Debbie is particular. She's borderline nuts.
Nah, it's more than borderline, dude.
Yeah. And she has this weird tendency of forgetting. And if you don't spell out everything, especially on the RO, for her to go back and reference, you get lots of phone calls. You get, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit. And all this crap. So I'm going throughout my day dealing with my customers. It starts off fine for Kyle. Kyle says, this is what the remote will cost. We'll look into this. And of course, there's other concerns, but they're little. It's nothing crazy. It's more, she needs to know how the car works, then she's already figured it out. Now there's a problem. Like one was she was, and this is stuff that I didn't hear. I wasn't in the office or paying attention. But on the Mazdas up by where the bottom of the windshield meets the dash, there's these little tiny foam strips that like to work their way up. You push them back down, they're fine, or you just tear them. They do nothing. It's just it's sound dampening for the side, but they don't do anything because the gaps are horrible. So they just slip out. So tuck them in or tear them, whatever. So
Quality Mazda repair.
exactly. Exactly.
Tuck it or tear it.
Tuck it or tear it, bitch. So I am out in the bays with one of my technicians, and I am helping him program this key. The new programming is a little convoluted. Sometimes a couple of the techs, but this tech specifically, has some issues remembering how to always do it, or he likes somebody there with him. When I mean difficulty, it's just the time that you have to do it, all of the information that you have to type in within a certain amount of time before it times out. It's easier with 2 people. I understand that.
Did he like to go fishing?
Do you like to go minion? Oh, the tamarin's good.
I like that one.
So I'm helping him with the key. That gets all done. Program it. Good. I go back into the office and I come into a very heated conversation that is happening between Kyle and Dubba on the phone.
What did she need a second key for in the first place if she bought the car new?
She has had the car for about 3 weeks and she has already lost one.
Off to a
That's an
good start.
expensive loss.
Off to a great start.
That's why you
What,
buy
250, 300 keys?
$435.
That's
Really
why-
programming and everything.
That's why you buy the extended warranty.
How much does it run for you guys?
It depends on the key, but it's typically 250 and up, including cutting and programming and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
So there's a very heated conversation going on between these two over the phone. So I unfortunately can't hear the awesome bullshit that's ensuing from Debbie. All that I'm getting from Kyle is him going, well, if you would let me finish, I'd be more than happy to explain it. Or I'm sorry that you had a hard time comprehending what I was supposed to get across to you.
Yes.
And I'm like, this shit is awesome. I'm sitting there with my popcorn, like, oh my God, this kid's like either got balls and he doesn't know Debbie, so I'm like, or he's stupid. And because he doesn't know Debbie, it's the latter. So that conversation ends and he's angry and confused and all this stuff. And that hangs up. Phone rings. A couple of minutes later. Of course, I'm the lucky son of a bitch that answers. And I
Because
go,
it like rings in a pool.
Yeah.
so just anybody can grab it who's ever available. I was available. And it's Debbie. And I go, Mazda service, this is Jake. How can I help you? She goes, Jack, it's Debbie. This is bullshit. And I'm like, okay, Debbie, what's going on? She's like, Kyle told me the key was going to be $900. And I'm all like, $900. And I'm like,
How many keys are you getting?
and I'm like, I'm not sure if that's right. And she's like, I know what he said. It's bullshit, and I just want one key, and he's talking about like a metal key that's inside of the key. I don't fucking go inside of my key. Who goes inside of the key? And I'm like, okay, Debbie, what he's talking about is your auxiliary key. And she's like, I want an auxiliary key. I'm like, well, if your remote stops working, you can use that metal key inside of the remote to get into your car. Pop the hood, you can jumpstart the car. She goes, well, I didn't know that existed. Whose remote would die anyways? I'll always be able to get in my car. This is bullshit. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I'm like, kind of explained to her briefly that it's not going to be that. I told her, unfortunately, I'm a little busy at the moment. Kyle's not at his desk. We'll make sure that everything is fine for you. Because in the past, once again, go back to the first episode, Debbie has imprinted on me like a sick duckling. And she, for whatever reason, I got the bullshit of Debbie, but apparently it worked out in the end. So she wants me.
She wants you.
Exactly. She wants me. All of this. And no.
So what do I got to do to get that? Do I have to turn into a Debbie?
So she hangs up. Maybe 5 minutes pass. And I get another phone call. And this is Mr. Debbie.
Oh.
There's a Mr. Debbie.
Who I have never dealt with. To be completely honest, I didn't know that Debbie had a husband. I thought Debbie was a single woman.
With many
Wouldn't
cats.
surprise you.
With many cats.
Yeah.
Deberto.
Mr. Debbie calls. I answer. Jake from Mazda Service, how can I help you? He's like, Jake, who's the fucking asshole that's dealing with my wife and her key? And I'm like, oh, okie dokie. And I'm like, well, you're working with my associate. And he, same general thing. It's like, what's this I hear about $900? And this was only supposed to be, around $400. We got a quote previously from you guys, and we have that paperwork. And I'm like, look, let me get you over to Kyle. He can clear it up. Talks with Mr. Debbie. Same thing. Sir, I don't know what your wife heard, but she's wrong. That's not what was said. Same general things. Once again, kid's got balls.
Yeah.
He's just got balls. And
It's called unprofessional.
It's a short fuse. Whatever it is.
It's perfect for customer service.
Whatever it is, it works for him. Fine.
It's his thing.
My mouth shut. I'm not the one to judge. So that gets all worked out.
Oh, I'm judging.
So I walk out again, doing some things around the shop, finishing up my tickets. And next time I come into the office, Debbie has since shown up.
Oh.
And Debbie is chewing out Kyle big time. How dare you tell my husband I didn't, that the $900 that you never told me that. Now my husband thinks I'm a liar. What type of bullshit do you think you're trying to pull? All this, that, and the other thing. And I'm standing in Kurt's office right where the sliding door is that leads into. So I'm out of Debbie's view, and I'm just leaning up against the door frame.
With your ear to the door.
And listening. No, the door's open because that door's broken. And I'm sitting there listening.
It broke?
Yeah, it hasn't worked for weeks. So I'm sitting there listening to all this unfold, Kyle and her going back and forth, whatever. And this ends with Kyle going, you know what? I'm going to go get my service manager because I'd like him to weigh in on what you think is happening. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I'm like, whoa. I'm like, okay, so Kyle walks out. Debbie turns around, and it's kind of like this. And let me describe. And she locks eyes with me. It's seriously, she's just looking around, and it's like she senses me and just goes. And I'm like,
if you don't move, I hear.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't move, they can't see you. Right. And she goes, hi. I'm like, hi, Debbie. How are you? She's like, it's fantastic. Can't you tell? So I sit back at my desk, and she goes, Jake, you know me. You've known me for a long time, since I'm a CX5. You know that this isn't the type of person that I am. I don't like confrontation. I'm not a mean person.
No, not at all, Debbie.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. And she goes, once again, he told my husband I'm a liar, and now my husband thinks I'm a fucking idiot because I said it was $900, but it's really $400, and this stupid remote key, and I just wanted a remote, and nothing's been done. And I'm like, okay, Debbie, so I'll sit down and break everything down for you. I'm like, we have made you a new key. I don't want a key. I'm like, Debbie, remote. She's like, what's the difference? So I pull out my fucking key. And I'm like, Debbie, this is your remote. The exact same style as mine.
He's holding his remote.
Yeah. I'm like, this is your remote. This is what we duplicated, what you wanted. And then I took off the cover, opened it up. I'm like, this metal thing is the auxiliary one. That for whatever reason, your key fob, the one that you had, is missing. If you ever want us to, we can always cut you 2 new auxiliary keys. If you want. But for today, we reprogrammed a second key. She goes, okay, good. How much am I paying? And I'm like, it's $416 plus tax. Parts, labor, everything, you're good to go. And she's like, where's one of your business cards? I'm going to write that down so I can reference it. They're right in front of you, Debbie. So she writes down the number. She's like, how much was it again? $416. And she goes, what about my service? I'm like, well, we did the service for you too. She's like, am I going to have to pay for that? Is that what's $900? I have prepaid maintenance. You should know this, Jake. I've had prepaid maintenance for all the cars. And I'm like, no, Debbie, that's fine. Just the key is what you're paying for. So at this point, Alex and Kyle walk back in. And I'm diffusing Debbie at this point, so Alex doesn't chime in. There's no need to.
Right.
It's fine. Kyle's calmed down.
Jake's got the situation under control.
Debbie's calmed down. It's fine.
Daddy Jake's on board.
And she then goes into the cashiering office and pays for it. She comes back out. She goes, and I can't remember if Kyle was in the office at this point or if he had stepped out again just to take a breather. Whatever, totally fine. I'm fine with helping him. And she comes back in. She goes, Jake, it's been great. Next time, I promise I'm only going to deal with you. No matter what happens. No matter what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. No matter what happens, Jake, I just want to deal with you. It's always a pleasure. I have such a good time.
That makes one of us.
Yeah, exactly. as I'm just...
You tamed the dragon.
And she goes, where's my car? I'm like, oh, the porter should be pulling it up for you here shortly. She goes, she starts walking towards the door, almost gets the handle. She does that turn around again and looks at me and she goes, well, are you going to walk me to my car?
To which Jake puts his arm out so she can link in.
Yeah, the crook of his arm.
Yeah.
Just grab my stack of papers and I'm like, okay, no, I'm free. I can do whatever you want.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Of course
so
I am.
That's
Oh,
like,
I'm getting a phone call.
I'm here for you, Debbie, at my beck and call. So I walk her out to her car. Once again, she's like, Jack, it's just the best. So I keep coming back here. I love my CX-50. It's the best. So
We're going to hear about that at the next company barbecue.
So Debbie gets in her car and she leaves. At this point, I need a breather. So I go to my other text bay all the way at the end because I needed to ask him about a car that he was working on for another one of my customers. And Alex walks out. And then we start talking and Alex kind of looks at me and goes, well, that was crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then Kyle kind of hollers at me.
Oh, Lord.
And he goes, Jake. And walks out. And he
Debbie's
goes,
back.
and he go, no, thank God.
That's where I thought this was going. That's where I thought this was going.
This was great. It's like there was that bullshit. It ended and she was gone. Just period, the end. So Kyle walks out, flags down me and Alex, and he goes, hey guys, I need your opinion with something. And he goes, what all went wrong with that, or what did I do wrong? And I didn't feel like at that point he's already pissed off. I'm not going to go
wasn't the time.
I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty.
Right.
And I told him, look, man, you dealt with Debbie. You haven't met her yet. This is her. It's who she is. And Jeff, one of my technicians, who is a very, very like hardcore listener,
Hi, Jeff.
he's underneath the
Jeff.
hood. And I said, that's Debbie. You'll get to know her. And he sticks his head out and he goes, you mean Debbie? and then Alex goes, wait a minute, that's Debbie? I'm
Debbie.
like, yes, that's the Debbie. And Kyle's looking at all of us like we're fucking insane.
What the fuck are you
And I'm
talking
like,
about?
Kyle, that is Debbie. I'm like, she is like the one. I'm like, that we have talked about before, that my friends know about, as you can tell that everybody knows about. It doesn't really matter what you do. If she gets into that headspace, or I also explained to him, if you ever do work with her again, everything has to be black and white and very, very apparent. On the RO, before she leaves, make sure she's got all of her questions answered. Documentation is there,
Yep.
big bold letters, and you won't have an issue. Or you will still have an issue, but when it comes to that, you can go, pull out your paper, let's look, because it's there. Nothing has changed. So he leaves and everything. We all have a good laugh. And that was Debbie V2.
Wow.
The Karening.
The Karening. Debbie, the second Karening.
That was fucking awesome.
There was another story that we might have to like write down for another time, but the homie story.
Oh, I'll make that real quick.
Rolling with.
Or do we want to do?
No,
I'll make it.
It was just a good like example of something.
This one caught me really, really off guard.
Reading the room.
Not even reading the room. This was a phone call, which was, and yes, you should always read the room. You are correct on this, but this is why this one was confusing. With my customers, if I know them, not if it's a new customer or somebody that I haven't built a good rapport with, if I've known them for long enough, I will use proper slang like, hey bud, how are you? What's up, dude? How are you, homie? It's good to see you, that type of thing. Of course, I pick and choose this to customers who have said dude to me or what's up, bro, like that. Like Ali said, you read the room. And I like doing that with my customers because it makes them feel
It's
Like
more
relaxed,
personable.
casual.
exactly less of a customer, not a number. You're like a family. When you come here, I want you to feel comfortable.
It's like Olive Garden.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when you're here, your family.
And when
Thank
you're
you,
there,
Kevin.
it's good business sense. When you feel comfortable, you feel safe to spend money. You can trust the person. So we get that basis. I get a phone call from a customer that I've been dealing with for a long time. Same thing. Read the room. He knows me and Joe. He knows Alex. We've dealt with him many a times. And same thing. Laughs, bro, how are you, dude? That whole 9 yards. Always been a super nice guy.
Broski.
And he calls, and I pick up the phone, and he goes,
What's up, bro?
hey, Jake, how you doing, man? Good. And he goes, hey, I got an email notification saying that I have an appointment today. And I'm like, oh, I didn't see you on the appointment. Let me go into your file and check. So I pull open his file, and it wasn't for that day. It was actually the following week. So it was Thursday last week that he called, but his appointment was actually 1 week out, same on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, homie, your appointment's actually next Thursday at 10 o'clock. And like a light switch, he goes, what the fuck did you call me?
Homie.
And I was super taken aback. Like, I mean, this was 0 to 100.
Yeah.
This was a man severely ticked off at what I had called him. And I kind of stumble on myself and I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, don't you ever fucking call me homie. He's like, I'm not your fucking homie. And once again, super taken aback. And I over and over told him, it's like, I am very, very sorry, man. I don't know what else to say. I don't know.
Sir.
Really. And I'm like, I don't know what else to say, but sorry. And I promise I will not use this. I thought we were on better terms than that. And he goes, do you think it would be okay if I called somebody homie at my job? And I'm like, I don't know where you work, man. And then he goes, do you think that's good business sense? And same thing I said. Well, I'm like, I like to treat my customers like family, so I hope that they would be okay with that, but I'm sorry I overstepped my bounds. And he continued to tear me up over and over and over and all this stuff. And once again, just kept repeating.
Your balls a tug tit fucker.
I'm like, I can only once again say I'm sorry. And then he just hung up on me. But it threw me for a loop because we've known this guy for years.
Yeah.
And it's never been an issue. Granted, the word homie has never been brought up, but I don't know. And this is not meant to be racist. He's not Hispanic. He's not a person of color. He's just a white guy. So once again,
as far as you can tell,
reading the room, if I've got a African-American customer, I don't call him brother. If it's a Hispanic guy, I don't call him homie. It's sensitive subjects, possibly to people, out of respect. That's all. Generally, I stick with dude. Dude is perfect. Everybody is a dude. She's a dude. I'm a dude. You're a dude.
We're all dudes.
Exactly. So
Good bugger.
but yeah, so that surprised me. And then I put in PBS or the DMS system that we use, you can put in a critical note that when you open up a customer's file, a big old warning pop-up comes up.
Call this guy homie.
It literally says, do not call this guy homie, only use proper English. So yeah, just weird. And
And I said maybe he was having a bad day, like
Whatever the case, but-
you don't know
so-
people's mental. But I mean, I get it. Maybe I don't know.
So either way, and I told my service manager, told Alex, hey, if you get a call like this is what happened. I don't know what nerve I hit, but I did. Just so you know, no ill will or intention, no nothing. Friendly conversation. He did not like it. He's like, oh well, and he's like, I know that guy. Blah, blah, blah. So once again, CYA got ahead of it before it became a problem.
Good.
Cover your ass.
So
Fun stuff.
he cracked.
Did he now? Like a spark plug?
He went off.
Well, so I had an interesting truck this week. This truck came in on the hook, and service advisors don't get the full story.
That means it was towed in.
Service advisors just
They're horrible.
Yeah.
Some service advisors are horrible.
Worst people ever.
so. If
I'm married to one.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Eric.
It's fine. If I remember correctly, the RO said something along the lines of customer states a piece of the spark plug broke and fell in the cylinder, something like that. And
Turn it on and rev the shit out of it.
allegedly they did. And he tells me it was cylinder 1. He hand wrote at the bottom of the RO. I'm like, okay. So it's a big 550. So it was actually left.
It's a big truck.
It was left in the sales lot. because the tow truck had nowhere to put it. So it's on the front line with our used cars parked in a spot lined up with all the other used cars for sale. I'm like, oh, this is
That's
interesting.
how you get a free car wash.
So I go out to the truck and I pull the number 1 spark plug, and it's new. And I'm like, and it was installed with the ignition coil. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So before I decide to rev the fuck out of it with the spark plug out of the head, I called the advisor over. I said, I need to know exactly what he did and what cylinder it was. Well, he said it was cylinder 1. No, he said it was 5 on the left side. I'm like, okay, well, 5 isn't on the left side. Yeah, 5 isn't on the left side, and neither is cylinder 1. Okay, hold on. Let me call him. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. So he calls the customer. This is a 10-cylinder engine, by the way.
It's a V10?
6.8 liter modular motor.
Wait, so does that mean the valves are like
It's
straight?
just, like every other V10 is just 10
Oh yeah,
cylinders.
because all the
V-
V10s that I've seen.
It's every other V-style engine with just 2 extra cylinders. on the
Typically
back.
between 60 and 90 degrees.
5.5.
Anyways, moving on. So, yeah, what was that? Was
Good
weird.
acoustics.
That's the drum set.
Oh, I lost my train of thought now. Oh, so he calls the customer.
Real bad.
So he calls the customer, and the customer said, "Oh, it was cylinder 5 on." He said the left bank, on the passenger side.
No.
I'm like, no. I wasn't gonna argue with him. I'm like, the left bank is the driver's side. But okay.
Sweetie, no.
Yeah.
No.
People don't understand. Technicians think that the left side of the engine is on the driver's side because they're standing at the front of the vehicle, on the passenger side, because they're standing at the front of the vehicle.
Right.
They don't understand it's from the driver's seat looking forward. Mm-hmm. The left side of the vehicle isn't the passenger side of the car. Mm-hmm. It's the driver's side of the car. So the left side of the engine is the driver's side. Mm-hmm. Or if it's transverse engine, it's the bank that's closest to you. Anyways, moving on. Depending on the direction of the transverse. Anyways, moving on. So, cylinder 5, it was on the passenger side, the very farthest back one. All right, cool. Now I know where it's at. I take out the spark plug, and the threads are chewed to shit. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's a new plug. And he's like, oh, but you got to see the old one. And he goes in the passenger seat, and he pulls out the old spark plug to show me. First off, the top of the porcelain is cracked in half.
Nice.
On the top half. And the threads look like they went through a paper shredder.
Oh wow!
Super jagged.
I mean, that description is exactly what it looked like. I don't understand how or why the threads looked like that. It didn't look like they were cross-threaded and stripped. They look like they went through a fucking paper shredder. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't understand. Anyways, moving on, but I digress. So I start it up. I run it for a little bit to blow out whatever, porcelain that was inside the cylinder. And I reinstall the spark plug. And, okay, no, actually, number 5 wasn't cracked. It just had the fucked up threads. I started up, and the truck's running like shit. I'm like, okay, well, I need to figure out what else the fuck they did. So I drive it into the shop. I pull it in. And I scan it for codes. I've got a misfire on cylinders number 4, 8, and 10. Okay, cool. So I pull number 4 spark plug. And guess what's wrong with that one? Mind you, he replaced all 10 spark plugs.
Thank you, Kevin.
Since we couldn't get that sound earlier. He replaced all 10 spark plugs. One with NGKs.
Are them those there iridiums?
Yeah, something like that. 2, I pulled out number 4, and remember how I told you the original one that came out of number 5 had that crack on the top of the porcelain?
Yeah.
So did number 4. On the new plug that was installed. Mm-hmm. Very good, Jacob. I'm like, okay. Maybe he dropped it or something. I pull out number 8. Guess what?
Oh, it's cracked.
Huh. I pull out number 10. Guess what?
Does it also have the thread thing too?
No, the threads was just number 5. So I'm like, this motherfucker's using the wrong tool, or he dropped all of the spark. I don't fucking know. But everyone,
the torque spec.
I don't know, because there was a total of 4 of them that were cracked on the top half in the same exact spot, in the same exact fashion. So I went to the advisor. I said, we need to sell him plugs. I said, and I have to retap the threads in the head that he fucked up in number 5. So he calls the customer. Customer says, oh, well, the threads came out like that. I'm like,
So
Of course.
I don't think that's how that happens, but okay.
doesn't matter anyway. They're fucked. We gotta fix them.
So, and he said that his 30-year mechanic is the best in the yard, and he trusts everything he says, and that he says these engines are prone to cracking the spark plugs, and that there's something wrong with the engine. I said, okay. Well, that's fine and dandy. I need to replace the plugs first and retest and retap the threads on the heads. So I charged him $5 to replace all 10 plugs and clear codes and road test and ship it.
And what happened?
It was fine.
Really?
So strange, because I used the
Inconceivable.
proper tool to remove and install the spark plugs. Go figure.
Yeah.
And they didn't crack.
Wow. Wow.
It's so strange.
What'd you think? Wow.
Well, I gave him back the spark plugs and left them on the front seat. So
Nice.
Good.
These are for you.
And I wrote a fucking bitchin' story in there too. Let me tell you, I should have taken a picture of it. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't, but it was a good story. Remind me to print it. I'll bring
We
it
shall.
next week.
Now on the
We'll frame it and put it on the refrigerator.
You can go to break and you can play the music. Quick question on those V10s: is it 1 through 5, 6 through 10?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, Ford engines are in numerical order, unlike Chevy that bounces back and forth from bank to bank.
Okay.
And who did our old Power Stroke engines?
Navistar.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
same thing.
I was gonna say like the Mazdas, it's 1, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4.
You know who else is straight to the fucking point?
Our sponsors.
Sponsors. Thanks to Nick Lowry from Matco Tools, Spines from Matco Tools, and Milwaukee Products.
And thank you for Travis Ferris from Hit Distributing.
Supplying us with Justice Brothers products.
Yes. And Raymond from El Ranchito Taco Shop.
And for your creamy guac.
Creamy
daddy.
guac.
Don't say it like that.
Creamy guac.
We'll be back.
Something smells delicious in here.
Yeah, it does. I'm hungry. Jake, are you eating El Ranchito Taco Shop?
That looks amazing. What did you order?
Tacos.
What?
Guac.
Jake, are you choking? Get out of my way, Michael. He needs the Heimlich.
Oh my god, I cannot believe this is happening again. Jake, you know you're allergic to avocado. One generic allergy medication later. Are you okay?
Yeah. Almost dying is so worth it to have some El Ranchito creamy guac. Thanks, Eric, for trying to save me, even though I wasn't joking.
I know. I just wanted to get you from behind.
Well, I guess this is a good time to tell everybody that if you're ever in the Inland Empire and are craving some great Mexican food, visit El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore.
Seriously, I follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore.
El Ranchito Taco Shop.
More than just great Mexican food.
This episode of Customer States is brought to you by Calm Moment. Born out of the search for a more mindful way to unwind, Calm Moment is an all-natural, slightly spritzy, CBD-infused sparkling beverage designed to give you a deliciously different way to relax. The CBD takes the edge off anxious feelings so you can find a calm moment in your day wherever you might be. We may not be able to change the world, but we will try to change your world, one calm moment at a time. We cannot start every
We're gonna
segment with that.
ugga-dugga
Why
that.
not? No, we're not.
Here goes Kevin walking down the staircase.
Oh, I like the dance.
With a jar of cummy wummies.
I will quit. I know I've said it before. I am dead fucking serious. I've got the keys to the car. Unlike
you
Debbie,
don't.
I have both keys.
I thought Jacob had both keys.
Hello and welcome back to Customer States Podcast. It is best podcast.
I love when you do your Russian accent.
It's good.
I'm mildly turned on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm half
I
mad.
kind of agree. Me too.
Allie's inverted penis is half mast.
Real bad.
Half meist.
Half maestro.
Half maestro.
I
Thank you
never
for
thought about it like that.
thank you for
before.
listening to our sponsors who bring us
You're
very good
welcome.
money. The money is what keep light going on.
I
To
want
pay
to
for our
hear.
vodka.
Does anybody have a bottle?
Does everybody? Who is the vodka?
Click it. Clink it.
Eric, you ready?
I was gonna do Nostrovia.
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 Oh,
See, it still does it.
Very
did
good
it.
sound. Ah, yes, how you Americans say. Very good freedom noise.
Oh, this is the CBDBs.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Can I taste
Thank
it?
you to Calm Moment.
Well, you can try it first.
No, I will give you my first taste because you're my best friend.
You're my best friend.
And the verdict is
Delicious.
Oh God.
Black
Thank you to
currant
Calm Moment.
Flavor. Thank you, Calm Moment.
Never mind the sour look on her face.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. Actually, it's got a good flavor.
You know what else has good flavor? Apparently, she not listen to me.
Oh, our sponsors?
No,
well, yes, also them.
very much along. So, anyways, back to story. Lack of power.
Oh yeah. So
Recall.
no, we'll say that one.
That's not yours. That's theirs.
No, it
that's
is.
fine.
It is actually
Okay,
Michael's.
we can do lack of.
What?
Mikael. He tells story. He bring ID 4. He call Ali. Call bring ID 4.
That's the whole story.
There you go. Story is told. Very good, friends.
It gets better. Trust me.
Now I want to hear it.
It's like, okay, let's
You
do
can't
it.
allude
It's
to
a
that.
quickie. It's a
Okay. So
quickie.
fine. It's fine. We'll do the ID4 story.
That is what she said.
So in my new role at the dealership, I'm doing used cars, right?
Shop foreskin.
So
Pen clicker.
yeah. So we got a
Pen
ID4,
15.
a Volkswagen ID4 in,
Pebis.
and it had a series of recalls. And
Yes,
so,
it did.
You know, I looked them up online, and it tells me very limited information, and so I have to call an expert. So
So you called the best expert in the business, didn't you?
I did. I called.
Sam deals with ID4s.
Oh.
You know what? I'm gonna let Sam have that.
I'm gonna let Sam that.
Damn it!
All right, Yoda.
Sometimes I feel like I do have dyslexia, like that mom.
Oh, that poor mother.
I know.
So
Sam have it, she will.
Sam, haven't you will?
So I call up Allie, and she tells me that, yeah, these recalls are a thing, but it's going to be like 2 to 3 weeks until she can get the vehicle in, just because of their workload, and they only have like one technician and half a scan tool or whatever the excuse she gave me.
God forbid you call in a favor and ask for it to get done sooner.
No.
Shut up. Don't
no.
respond to that. It wasn't. It was a rhetorical statement, Michael.
Calm down.
No fucking response required.
Is he rock? He's so.
I am hard.
whoa,
I am rock hard.
whoa.
Feel it, Allie. Allie,
Whoa.
feel it again.
Whoa.
She's feeling it.
This isn't my Batman
See?
mug.
It is rock hard.
So
This isn't my Batman mug.
so that's all good and well, but the problem is that I know the used car department, and the second the thing gets on the lot, they don't understand why the vehicle can't be safety inspection, repaired, and ready for frontline that second. So if I tell them that it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks until they can sell this car, they're going to freak out. So I asked Allie if, like, is this a, like, is stop demonstration, stop delivery hold, stop sale
Safety.
hold?
Is it a safety recall?
Safety recall? And she didn't have the answers in front of her, so she directed me to somebody that could help me out. Not much help, but
Wait,
Not
what was
much
the
help.
first letter of the name of the person that you talked to?
I don't know. He didn't tell me.
Oh.
It'd be J, F, or G.
Wait.
I think it was a J.
Okay.
He was a sales manager or something like that there, if I remember correctly.
Obviously not by the look on her face.
I don't know. But anyway, so he tells me.
I digress.
He guarantees me that it's not a delivery demonstration, stop sales, hold, anything like that. And I'm
It is
like,
not a safety recall.
yeah, not a safety recall.
Put it in layman's terms for the listeners.
I'm like, okay, so it's not a safety recall. Fine, we'll move on with life. So just trying to like get out from underneath the pressure that's impending upon me for this vehicle, I called another dealership, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, if you want to drop it off like tonight or tomorrow, I'll sneak it in for you. Like, don't worry about it."
Huh.
Oh,
Like I said,
okay.
Wow.
that's weird.
Nothing personal. I know you guys are busy. I get it, and it's a shitty recall that's going to take you forever and not pay you enough. I get it.
Well, so we have 2 technicians who can do it. Mind you, we only have 4 technicians right now. One is a
4
Luby.
technicians.
Yeah, we lost one of our guys.
So you went from 5 to 4.
He went from our Volkswagen. He came from Audi.
Wait a minute. So you've got Skeeter,
Yeah.
Eddie,
Yeah. Oh, I didn't count him.
Skeeter. Not worthy
She
of being
doesn't.
counted.
No.
Skeeter, Eddie, Ricky, Will, Christos,
And your mom.
And the Luby.
and
Gregory.
Greg. So that's 6 techs, 5 techs plus a Luby.
She didn't count that one.
I don't. So those 2 of those people don't really count for me because they are not qualified to do the repairs that I
What is
deal
wrong
with.
with her?
She wants
wants
to get
in.
into Kevin and Issa's room, but the door is closed.
Come on.
And she's yelling to. She's saying,
that
"Let
what
me
it is?
in."
Sorry, everybody.
So back to your recall. And the other dealer got you in.
So we have 2 techs that can do it, but we only have 1 bay that is capable of supporting the charge.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Trust me, I understand. We have things that we have to.
Who's the other tech that can do it besides Christos?
Skeeter.
Oh,
So we agree to take it down to this other dealership, and it's there the next morning. He tells me that he works 9 to 5. We're there at 8:55. Drop the car off. I Uber the porter back. Blah blah. All good and done. I didn't call him back because he told me that he was going to try and squeeze me in within the next few days. I was expecting to have 2 to 3 weeks of downtime if I brought it to you, but it was okay. And by that time, it was like already going to be Monday by the time that the car could have potentially been done.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think to call back. And he called me back on Friday. He says, "Hey, Mike, guess what?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I like how this conversation's going." He says, "Yeah, so 2 of the recalls went through okay, but we're having an issue programming for one of the other recalls, and it actually ended up wiping out a module." And,
Wonderful.
And so
What?
so I have a silent face palm moment. And then he tells me, "I don't know what your guys' terms for these modules are, but if I remember correctly, he says it's something about like an audio control module or some front facing module. And even though it's all covered under warranty and everything's fine and good, that part is on back order."
A lot of the ID4 parts are on like.
intergalactic back
Yeah.
Which didn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But now I'm stuck in this situation where
We have a used car we can't sell.
it's not even on the dealership. It's over at some other
Should've
dealership
taken it to our
far, far
dealership.
away. Why? So you guys could have been the problem and
I've never heard of
At least
that.
you wouldn't have had to tow it there. You could have just had the boys push it.
we did drive it over there, and then the customer
Tow
tells
it
me the
back.
car's
I
not
meant
drivable.
tow it
Yeah,
back.
oh, yeah.
I meant-
But
Semantics.
yeah, it was. I mean, I understand we have these issues with some of our programming modules. Programming things and modules will die or not accept the program, and it takes 3 days to program, or it wipes out this module and you got to get another one. I get it. I get
Wiping
it.
out APIMs all the time.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, that was just one of these like kind of like the worst case scenario. This car was like virtually brand new, low mileage, didn't need any work performed, just had some recalls that we had to get done before it was sold. And
And one of them takes like a minimum of 5 hours.
yeah, and lo and behold, we were screwed.
Squid.
I'm sorry.
Squid.
Does somebody else want to take
But it
another?
was funny when you called me and you're like, "I have an ID4 with a recall," and I was like, "Yeah,
I
yeah,
bet.
yeah, you do.
Yeah,
They all do."
they come stock like that.
Yeah.
Somebody else taking on the topic. I'm going to try and wrangle up Koa.
Do you want me to do the lack of power?
Yeah, if you want to lead that. I mean,
Because I had something that happened during that really ticked me off.
Oh.
Oh, is it related?
When
Was that whose topic was that?
technically everybody's, because it happened to all of us except for Eric.
That's right.
Oh,
Hello.
I was thinking of like
Hello.
a vehicle.
I know what you.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, bless his heart.
Okay. So we had a very large power outage
Power outage.
at the Auto Mall last week or 2 weeks, whatever.
Do you know what happened?
You explained to me that an underground transformer exploded.
Yeah, so an underground transformer basically right in front of my dealership exploded and shot the manhole cover enclosure
out of the ground.
With a sleeve?
Which is steel and concrete out of the ground about 3 feet in the air.
Nice.
Oh my God. I didn't even, first of all, I didn't even know that there were underground transformers. Did not know that was a thing. The power goes out. I'm in the middle of posting a long accounting, lots of data entry.
You forgot to hit save, didn't you?
Well,
there's no save.
Guess what I learned about our shitty system? It has a backup, reserves.
A backup to the backup?
That are always on. Even if the power goes out, there's like a battery that constantly charges, so the data is not lost. So everything was still there. But anyways, the power went out, and who do I immediately call?
Ghostbusters.
I immediately call Mikey.
Cumbusters.
And I'm like, hey, do you have power? And we're talking, and he's starting to get more and more anxious as we're talking, because he's like, you know what, I really got to go and take care of this. I was like, okay, you go do it.
Sounds
He's like,
about right.
yeah, there's smoke coming out of the ground in front of the dealership. So I'm like, hey, everyone, the power's not going to come on anytime soon.
So y'all should just go home for the day.
Yeah, a lot of us did go home, especially the office people, because there's literally nothing we can do.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. Well, it sucks to be you guys. I didn't have any issues like that.
And what happened to me? It was right at the end of the day. We were at
Timmy.
It was like 4:15, 4:20, 4:30, somewhere around 4:20. I was calling an extended service contract.
You were on hold
and
for 2 hours.
I was on hold for an hour and 37 minutes waiting, because I've been trying for the past 3 fucking days to get a hold of this horrible, who knows, backwater, never heard of, what the fuck, extended warranty.
Not sponsored.
And then the fucking power goes out. I slammed that phone down on the receiver, walked outside. I'm pretty sure I said, fuck this place, and grabbed my vape and walked out.
I was in the middle of closing a repair order while answering the phone and trying to set an appointment for a customer. And all of a sudden, I didn't even realize, the lights went out, which isn't abnormal for us, because one of our service advisors' chairs is right next to the light switch in there. So anytime that he pivots his chair slightly, it'll turn the lights off. But then
you turn it on.
The first thing I noticed was the phone went really quiet. I was already on the phone, but it went really quiet. And then the computer shut down and the phone shut off, and I was like, oh my.
Am I having a stroke?
Dude, you've got to be kidding me. And this was week 1 of me having this new position in the service office. It's this is not what I wanted to have happen right now.
You're not just doing internal repairs anymore?
I'm doing internal repairs, the shop foreman stuff, and all that entails with that. And I'm now trying to start to answer phones, because, again, the number one complaint that we get from people is, I've been calling for 3 weeks, which obviously they've not been calling for 3 weeks, but you call once a week for 3 weeks. It's not calling for 3 weeks. Anyway, if I can answer
for a 3-week time span.
If I can answer the phone and at least take down a name or number, I can't tell you how many people will just say, thank God a human person picked up the phone. It's impossible to get through to you guys. So I just try to do what I can to make things flow.
I can personally attest to that it is difficult to get a hold of your guys' accounting department.
Have you ever? This is the one thing that I wish I could tell customers, but in having this new position, I've had to call quite a few dealerships to get through to have recalls done or ask questions about this, that, or the other, which is not something that I've had to do in my personal life or even my professional life before, because I am the dealership and I don't work on all this stuff. It is impossible to call any dealership.
Yes, it is.
It is so hard to get a hold of somebody. Everyone's busy, and I don't understand how people don't understand that. Everyone is busy all the time. Leave a message. They will get to you when they have a second.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times. Well, I'm sorry, this person is on the phone. This is service advisor is on the phone with one customer and has 2 customers in line behind them. I will put this note on their desk and they will call you. Well, I need to talk to them right now. I get that, but so does the person that they're currently on the phone with and the 2 people in line behind them.
Yeah.
We're very busy. It just takes a little bit of time. Please be patient.
Yeah. Not my dealership.
Honestly,
Was
not
my
must be
dealership
nice.
hard to get to me?
honestly not ours either. We, at least on the Mazda side, we answer every single phone call.
As you should.
Yes.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard.
Right.
But we have a person, which a lot of dealerships don't have a person.
We don't
that
have a
answers the
person.
phone.
Kurt doesn't answer the fucking phones.
The receptionist answers the phone.
Yeah, but whatever. So.
We have two people, one full-time person and one part-time person in the mornings to answer phones and set appointments and stuff like that. And I will see them both pick up phones. The other phone line, the other lines will ring. I'll pick up that one, and then another phone line will ring. The advisors all have people all around their desks. They're already on the phone or engaged with the customers, things like that. The amount of volume at our shop just seems insane for what we're actually doing.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of the power going out and me trying to do a extended service claim or a extended
I'm so
warranty
sorry
claim,
about that.
I have to deal with Mercury for another CX-9 for another engine.
Oh, that's weird.
But this time, it's not easy. It's an older CX-9. It's a 2013 CX-9. So it's a Fjord product. And we had this nice gentleman
Water pump.
come in. No, not the water pump. It is blown head gasket. Or the side of the block is cracked. We're not 100% sure because we haven't dropped the engine. What we know is when the engine is up to temperature, the coolant spews out of the side of the block.
That's fun.
I've never seen that before.
It's very
I
weird.
got a V6 Mustang that did that once. That was really cool.
Remember that GT350 I had that was leaking coolant in the valley?
Is that blue one?
Like the San Fernando.
The light blue one, like the baby blue
I don't
one?
remember the specific color, but there was a GT. I interrupted you. Finish your story, Jacob. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So we figured this out, and it's spewing coolant everywhere. Like I said, cracked block, blown head gaskets. It needs an engine. It's pretty obvious. So we called Mercury. I call Mercury. What do I say? We. Nobody does anything.
That's why we have you.
So I get a hold of Mercury and I go, hey guys, I just did an engine claim with you not too long ago. And I've got another one. And it's spewing coolant out of the side of the block. And they go, oh, okay, great, no problem. Customers got coverage for this. We're tell them the cost. It's 10 grand, 11 grand, whatever the fuck it is for everything. And they go, awesome, we're going to send an adjuster out. Always happens that way if it's over a certain amount.
Yeah.
No big deal. Send them out.
Paw for the cause.
So adjuster comes out. We show him everything. We go, it needs an engine. Here, this is what it's doing. Warm up outside.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Was that expensive piece?
Says, no problem. I'll do my claim and I'll send it in to him. So 2 days later, actual Mercury calls me. And the guy goes, well, we don't know if it's actually going to need an engine. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know if it's going to need an engine? And he goes, well, even though the coolant, it could be this. And, if it's just coming from the head, we just want you to do a head. And if you want a whole engine, we need to find out what the causal part is. If it was the thermostat or something wrong with the radiator, or if we can just replace the gasket, or if the block is warped. And I'm like, dude, this is all moot at this fucking point. I'm like, it needs a fucking engine. And we go back and forth and back and forth. And he wants us to do a boil test on the fucking thermostat. And he wants us to check this. And he wants us to check that. And blah, blah, blah.
Is he paying for all that diag?
And I explained to him, I'm like, look, it's all that's all fine and dandy that you want us to do this. But this customer bought this car recently, shortly after got an extended warranty, which is great because he got it from a private party. The private party was having issues with it. They couldn't figure out why the car was overheating at idle. So they replaced the radiator, the thermostat, and a few other components. And lo and behold, this did not fix the issue. So I told Mercury, if we test this, it'll be fine because all of these parts have been replaced. But the customer has proof that it wasn't him that owned the car at the time that this was all replaced. So they go, well, you gotta drop the engine and do a full teardown. And I'm like, okay, who's paying for this?
Right.
And they go, well, that would be the customer until we verify that it's covered. Like, the fuck no.
You have that conversation
I'm like,
with the
wait,
customer.
and that's what I told him. I'm like, you have the conversation with the fucking customer then. That they paid you thousands of dollars to get this. We have the proof and what it needs, and you need this authorized.
So you get
So,
nothing.
long story short, he goes, no, you have to let the customer know, and if they want to contact us after, they can. So I call the customer. And I go, hey, your extended service contracts want you to pay for the full teardown. And he goes, the fuck? I'm like, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm telling you this so that you can get real shitty, call them, and hopefully they pull their head out of their ass.
So that's like one of my favorite things to tell the customers, and this is 100% true. It's not blowing smoke. Is that the customer, as the consumer of the final product of the manufacturer, has more power than the franchising dealership does. So when you call that 1-800-EAT-SHIT number, give them hell. You be nice and cordial to the person, but tell them exactly how you're feeling. Tell them that the dealership is doing everything that they can, but their hands are bound by the warranty and policy procedure, blah blah, and try and get some assistance. They'll offer you, or they'll give you
something.
What do they call that? When you're leasing the vehicle, they'll pay for like monthly payments, or like increase your loaners, things like that. I mean, or offer you warranty assistance if your vehicle is just slightly out of warranty for certain things. So I mean, again, it's great for the customer to be able to call that 1-800 number and put the pressure on them. Yep. You only have so much that you can do.
So I had a good experience with Mercury the first time. This time around, not so much.
I'm sorry.
I had a great experience with Mercury.
I know you did. Yes, Eric's one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I had to take my glorified Toyota into the dealership to have some.
Let the record state that this is the first time that Eric referred to a Lexus as a glorified Toyota.
Let the record state that I just didn't want to hear your bullshit comments. So
I thought it was.
he got ahead.
I thought it was just because you were tired and you just weren't.
No, yeah, tired of the bullshit, so I decided to beat you guys to the punch. I had to take my car into the dealership for a couple concerns. One was a loud snap from the parking brake when it disengaged, and the other was a buzzing in the dash and sound quality from the stereo. Long story short, the buzzing in the dash was the fan for the radio that was failing, and it was overheating, which is why it had shitty sound quality. So it needed a new head unit. Mind you, my car's a 2013 with only 40,000 miles.
Aftermarket that bitch.
No.
No.
So the snapping from the parking brake, they replaced the head unit and fixed that problem. I was absolutely ecstatic because I bought the car with that issue, and I know what that premium sound system's supposed to sound like, and it's never sounded right.
It's supposed to sound premium.
Now it sounds premium, and I'm over the moon, let me tell you.
The moon.
And I got it back, and the very next day I hear the snap from the parking brake again. That's great. All they did was calibrate and adjust the parking brake mechanism. So I took it back to him. I said, it's still doing the snap. He's like, okay, well, we're going to look into it. So they look into it, and then they were recommending to replace the parking brake actuator assembly. So the parking brake on this vehicle, they do not have electronic parking brake calipers. It has an electronic parking brake, but what it has is it has a module mounted to the rear subframe with two cables going into it from the calipers, and the actuator pulls the cables and sets the parking brake. So long story short, they replaced the actuator assembly and it fixed the problem.
Yay.
Mercury wasn't going to cover the hardware for the stereo, which was going to be $700 out of pocket.
Hardware?
Yes.
Oh! I'm sorry. I'm thinking like one-time use parts is like bolts and nuts. You're talking about the actual piece of the stereo.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
correct. And so my dealership came in clutch, and I paid $250 out of pocket, and Mercury paid $6,400 for my repairs.
We got your money's worth out of that one.
It paid for itself almost 3 times.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Better than that.
Very happy about it. I now have a problem-free Lexus.
Woot woot.
Yay.
Woot woot.
Yeet.
Speaking of problem-free, transportation claim, how's that going, Ali?
Oh my gosh. So we don't do.
In the words of DJ Khaled, another one.
Another one.
Oh, we need to get that as a sound
That would be
bite.
a good soundbite.
We need that.
have to pay royalties.
No, as long as it's under
Mike?
15 seconds.
No, we can't. It's trademark.
Mike, where are you?
TM. Yeah, so we had a vehicle. It was an MX-5 that came in damaged.
That's a Miata.
It's a Miata.
Miatata.
With the... So it came in damaged. It had about a dime-size dent
You only have 48 hours.
in the... No, because it was delivered properly. If it's delivered before or after hours, then you only have 48 hours. Dime size. Are you okay?
Stop it. Nope. What is wrong with you?
What happened? Mike, you're gonna have to cut this out later.
No, he's not. It's fine. It's just Jacob dying.
Don't die. Did you
Okay.
eat creamy guac?
What? You ate.
You remember the ad
ate
that we
some
read
of
earlier?
Creamy guac.
So
Did it make
this.
you go, ooh?
So on the driver's side door, towards the rear, there's about a dime-sized dent on the more bottom part of the door. Okay, so you would think, oh, you can pop the dent out. It's just a little dime-sized dent. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no. Needs a whole new door because of where the dent is on the door.
Oh, it's in a crease or something.
Yeah.
2 pieces of metal sandwiched together.
Yeah. So
It's like
also,
right on the curve.
Oh, the seam.
there's
The
a
thing.
particular color in Mazda.
Red fucking
Crystal
4-stage.
red. 5-stage.
5-stage paint job.
Uh-huh.
Get at me, Chadwick.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so
I love that
Bozeman?
color.
R.I.P.
it's a really pretty color.
It is gorgeous.
The new
So-
red's really nice, too.
Not including parts, it's gonna cost $3,000.
Not including parts.
Not including parts.
How much is paint?
A lot.
Yeah, it's 5-stage.
That's just the paint, because they're like,
Can
well,
I
we gotta
recommend a
paint the
good
whole
body shop
side.
for you?
So
You meant a bad body shop.
And,
No, I have multiple ones.
and RBC.
oh yeah. So every single time we do a transportation damage claim, the policy has changed. So it's like starting all from new. I had to read a 25-page manual about exactly what they want this time. Had to go back and forth, and it's still going to take 7 to 14 business days to get back to me.
Wonderful.
So it's been a fun journey, and I'm not going to work tomorrow. So I told Alex, I was like, I need to get all this stuff done right now. He's like, just leave it till Monday. Sales isn't bothering you about it, so it's
Nice. Oh, nice. You got off the hook.
fine. Yep.
Off the hook.
You off
Well,
the hook.
it's just whatever fresh hell is there for me on Monday. So that's, it's so much fun. I've
like
already
it.
had to call the transportation company because they gave us a handwritten delivery receipt, and they do all digital receipts. So what they had in the computer was blank with a
different.
forged signature of the person who checked in the car.
That's not illegal.
So
I sent them the paper copy.
I just learned that I now have to make sure, because the transport companies have gotten lazy and don't actually give us the bill of lading, which I believe is what that's called. And we now have to make sure that we get either a signed copy from the driver who will show up at midnight or 3 a.m. in the morning. Or
STI.
yeah, STI. Thank you. There you go. What does that stand for exactly?
Sexual transmitted infection.
Well done, Alaire.
I actually don't know what it stands for, but every time I look at it, that's what I think of. Kind of
Yes.
like UTI, the Cranberry Institute.
Yeah.
Substandard transport inspection.
Could be.
Standardized transport. I don't know. The fitness gram pacer test.
Suck this ink pen.
I do want to.
Suck this ick.
I do want to talk about our shooting trip real quick, if you guys don't mind,
Yep.
just before we go out. I think,
Hi, Norm.
I think that was pretty cool.
Hi, Norm.
We had a chance to take
Norman.
the famous or infamous Norman Glacier out for a grand old American shooting trip that Eric missed.
Eric is not interested
Eric
in
didn't
such
miss
things.
anything. So stop saying that.
Mike missed Eric.
That's nice.
That's-
I
I'm
missed
here
Eric.
now.
You know what? That's fine to say. You can miss Eric, but Eric wasn't interested, and that's fine, and we can respect his wishes.
We can
Thank you,
respect his
Jacob.
wishes. But we had a good time. We did a little bit of off-roading. We had
I dipped the Miata so fucking hard in a ditch. It had like fucking
The what?
Miata.
sorry.
That'd be
What are you
wild.
doing with the Miata?
The Miata would not make it.
My brain wanted to say Mazda. I dipped the Mazda 6 lip, just scooped up like 5 pounds of dirt and shoved it right into the active grill shutters.
And I'm like, oh, I'll brush it off. And I was like, oh, that's a terrible idea. It's like gouging all of the paint.
That's not warranty.
It's out of warranty anyways.
But we had a good time. There were a few people that showed up. We taught a 16-year-old girl how to shoot, and
She hit how many yards?
600 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did great.
Yeah, she was very impressive. We blew a microwave completely up. That was a lot of fun.
We also blew
that
up a
was-
stump.
Oh yeah,
Oh, eviscerated.
yeah, lots of clays.
Yes, a lot of popped clays.
Yeah,
A little bit of fireworks.
well,
No.
very big fireworks.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Legal fireworks.
Yeah,
Yes.
safe and sane.
Yep,
Safe and
absolutely. Always make sure you wear protection.
We did, just so you know, we allegedly, for what we allegedly did, we had many fire extinguishers at the ready.
Yes.
That's no lie. I carry 2 fire extinguishers typically when I go out.
And there were a total of 3 fire extinguishers present.
At least I think Kier brought one as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Possibly 4.
So
Allegedly.
it was a very fun trip.
Yeah, and I encourage everybody to practice proper gun safety.
Yes.
I love you, Eric, so fucking much.
Oh, you guys, it's that
love you
time
too.
to thank the wonderful people that support us, and those are our sponsors. Oh, that kind of feels good. Eric's massaging my shoulder.
Thank you to Travis Ferris from Hit Distributing Supplies with Justice Brothers Products.
Yes. And thank you to Dale Follett and all from Twisted Builds, and also Norm Glazier
Norm Glazier.
from Stovocore_Metal Works. All right, Jake's not going to say anything. Also, we want to thank Ray Moon from El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore, which I can never say properly for some reason.
And for
Thanks for paying us anyways.
Bruce Vane, I love you.
Thank you to Spotify for broadcasting our podcast.
And thanks to Mike, our producer.
Gay.
Thank you to all of our listeners.
Thank you to our
Thank you,
listeners.
guys.
We can't and will not do it without you. You can check us out Spotify, on Anchor, on
Apple?
Anchor doesn't exist anymore.
Oh no, it doesn't. It's Spotify now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just straight
so
Spotify.
you can also check us out on iHeartRadio. We have a YouTube channel. Search for Customer States Podcast, which make sure your safe search is turned off. And you can check us out on our website, customerstatespodcast.com, or email us at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com.
Stick your dick in it, Jacob.
And with that, we say,
So long, my little prolapsed anuses.
Oh my god.
Rosebud?
Rosebud.
No, you can't do that. This is a serious end of this podcast.
This ending is always
Rated
very
R.
serious.
Pink Sock says, ew, ew.
Oh. You can't put the microphone condom on prematurely.
And with that, we say,
Love
This is hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
Mom, Dad, I'm so sorry.
They don't. Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Sarah. Please do not Google anything that you hear on this podcast. And with that, we say love you.
Hi, this is Mike Sarah from Customer States. Matco Tools is one of the best tool companies in the industry, and Nick Lowridge is one of the best Matco tool distributors. Nick can get me anything I need for the shop or for at home. From oil drain pans to beef jerky, Nick's got what I need on tap. Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area, and you too can get whatever you need by calling him at 805-796-7323. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him from the Customer States podcast. And then You can hop on to matcotools.com and find a Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.